Greetings and welcome to Comics 101. I started a blog calling it the Gems from the $1.50 bin. I'm taking a little bit of break from the um, usual rant of how to preserve and save your comic books and storing them for right now. Now we'll be getting back to those, but I wanted to discuss the 50-cent bin because people go, oh my god, it's a 50-cent bin, and most of the issues in there are like stuff that you don't care about, you haven't heard about, or you're very obscure books. Now, occasionally, I do find when I do what I call bin diving, especially in the 50-cent bins, I find these rare gems that are very, shall we say, not necessarily monetarily um, up there in value, though they may be. And sometimes I find out that people put those books in there to entice people to go through the 50-cent and dollar bins. Um, Now, I like the 50-cent and dollar bin because sometimes when you start your collection, you don't always have the money, and there's some back issues that you're going, oh, I'm looking for X back issue. Now, the 50-cent and dollar bins are very good for as far as filler, especially when it comes to collecting comic books. Something that I always tell people when it comes to comic books: collect what you like, collect what you love. Now, and the $1.50 boxes are those fillers because sometimes you got this issue and you're going, oh my god, I can't find it. I want to complete my collection or run of this particular issue. Those bins are very useful because when you, especially if you're trying to collect for pure enjoyment, not for monetary value. Not saying that you can't do it for monetary value, but do know if you buy something from the 50-cent bin, it's probably going to go right back into the 50-cent bin because the folks that run comic book stores, including probably the Secret Stash and so on, they're in it to make money. Okay, don't get me wrong. There are guys that run comic book stores for the sheer love of them, like the aforementioned Secret Stash, and that. But they're still into making money. You know, to keep the lights on and everything like that. But back to the topic. Don't be afraid to look into those bins. Don't be afraid to look and go, oh wow, enjoy it, because you never know what you find. I mean, I found a couple of ROM comic books in there that you know people, this diehard collectors such as myself are going, oh my god, I found this. It's really cool. So I'm going to start this blog off of gems of the gems of the $1.50 bin, and every Wednesday, which is comic book day, we're going to would like to talk about what you've discovered in there. Um, Now, I've done this before under other websites. I won't mention their names because it's not really important where I've done this topic before. But it is kind of a cool idea of a 50-cent bin, dollar bin comic book dive. One thing I've also found that helps and kind of dovetails into it is tail end of Comic Cons. Okay, some of these cats want to get their stuff. They don't want to be tracking all that stuff back that they just brought to said cons, especially if they've come from a long distance. So you might want to look those guys up too at the tail of a Comic Con. If that's all you care about the con for is getting your comic on, and hey, nothing against the other activities, seeing stars, meet and greet cosplayers, but get your comic on. The you know the tail end of a Comic Con is always the best because you can get the best deals out of that because they want to get rid of these books. They want to get rid of these books because they don't want to have to lug these back, in their van and in their trailer. So I'm just going to put it out there for you folks out there that are viewing and watching or looking at this site. Um, you may want to, tell me about your stories about the days of going into the comic book bins and the dollar bin, the 50-cent bin. Tell me about the gems you discovered. Um, you be and Share the love of comics with you, the wealth of comics that you have with each other, and enjoy that. I would honestly say that without the dollar bin and 50-cent bin, most of my collection would be very small. Not that I didn't get some when they were off the rack, and do understand that they are, I would say these are the bins that you go in to look what you love, look for filling in a run. You're missing a particular issue. There it is. It may not be in the greatest shape all the time, but there it is. So I just say, enjoy the comics. Enjoy your 50-cent and dollar bins, 25-cent bins, whatever they have, and back issues. And let me know what you've discovered. It might be a pretty cool kick, and you may never know. You might find that gem that you're looking for. And the words of the immortal Stan Lee, and I want to sign off with this: Excelsior!